So Adrift tells the story of two young people who, when they meet in a foreign country, they actually find their love for each other within their love for sailing, and within that they set off to sail the world together. However, when they do this, they are encountered by a huge storm which completely destroys their boat, leaves them sinking and just drifting across the ocean, not knowing where they are or where they're going to end up. And this is a true story that is being retold within film. And while the story of this film is inspirational, the adaptation is where the problem lies. The only positive I can give this movie is that Shailene Woodley does the absolute best she can with the material that she's given to work with. But again, the material she's given to work with is quite frankly awful. While Shailene Woodley really does sell it, I feel like a lot of the emotional moments she really were able to pull off and really able to sell to the audience. And given that everything she has provided us with her performance does help this movie along, everything else in this film is either falling flat, borderline bad, or straight up terrible. Sam Calflin is her co-star in this film, and he was so bland. I have seen so much better from Sam Calflin throughout the years, and this is by no means his greatest performance. He was honestly terrible in this movie. He delivered no emotion. I didn't buy the fact that he loved this girl. I didn't see it whatsoever. I thought he was just a really bland and a really emotionless performer, and that was a real big shame, as he needs to be a big part of this film. But when you give that type of performance, you're lacking. This film has major continuity issues. This film just goes along and just doesn't explain things. Like, things will just happen out of the blue with no explanation, and pretty big things too. Things will just occur and just happen, and you kind of just look back at the movie like, wait, what? Like, when did this happen? Like, what is this? And it takes you out of the movie because you're thinking about that thing and how it happened, because the movie doesn't explain it. And that is a big problem, and this happens a few times, and it was really distracting to me. This film is also told completely out of chronological order, and this is one of the biggest problems with the film. I hate it so much when true story movies do this. Sully, Miracle on the Hudson did it, also Get On Up, which was the James Brown biopic, did it. I hate it. I think it really just breaks up the film. Now, this one wasn't as bad as, say, something like Get On Up, where Get On Up just jumped all over the place, like at just different places to different times. This film does do it in flashbacks and then goes to the modern day and flips back and forth. However, the problem with that was, I feel like if the movie is told in a chronological order, it's a lot easier to follow and it's a lot easier to actually get compelled in the characters. Because, for example, the relationship that is established, or isn't established, between Shailene Woodley and Sam Claflin's character, you see it in the modern day and you see what they've been through and you think, oh, okay, these two must have been through a lot and their relationship must have been really, it must have been a lot before we got to this point. But then you look at the flashbacks and it's really not established well at all. So when it cuts back to the modern day, you don't buy the fact that these two are a viable couple. You don't buy it. It doesn't read well in your head. And again, it just ruins a lot of the tension and a lot of the chemistry that is supposed to be there in this film. Also, this film really overly sexualizes Shailene Woodley's character, which I was really surprised by. I'm surprised that in this day and age they were able to get away with that, and I haven't seen many people pick on this as much as I thought they would, but I'm surprised that Shailene Woodley actually took this role, because there was a lot actual over-sexualizing of her character, which I really didn't expect at all, and it almost feels offensive in a way. So I may be one of the only people who picked up on this, I don't know, because I haven't seen many people talk about this. But I honestly found it really quite offensive to the real-life woman who she is portraying. Overall, I really did not enjoy Adrift. I think that this movie was just really bad, really poorly told, terribly executed, and with really weak performances, except for Shailene Woodley, who does the absolute best. She was great in this film. I give her all the respect in the world. But besides Shailene Woodley, this film is not worth your time. Skip it completely. So did you guys see Adrift? If you did, tell me in the comment section below what you thought about it. Did you like it? Did you hate it? If you loved it, tell me why you liked it. I'd love to have a conversation about that. Why did you enjoy this movie? And then I can also give you my points. It'd be awesome to have a discussion about this movie in the comment section down below. And of course, if you want to see more movie reviews from me, be sure to subscribe, and hope to see you guys again in my next video.